Every single week, there is a brand new AI tool, a must-have that you've got to try, but most of them are just noise. If you are running a small or medium-sized business or team, you don't necessarily need 400 tools. You might just need the right 15. These are the ones that are going to save you real hours of work, maybe even close more deals, ship faster, and cut all of the busy work around what you do. So today, I've got some fantastic AI tools for teams that are going to help you cut through the noise and find the best ones for you and your work. All of them will be linked below, but let's dive into number one straight away. The first one is called Attio. Attio is an AI-first CRM for go-to-market. There are many different ways that make Attio unique, but the first feature is Ask Attio. This feature allows you to run deep web research on prospects, update the pipeline as you work, and find customers and draft outreach comms. This is powered by what Attio calls universal context. It's the intelligence layer behind Attio. It searches, updates, and creates across your data to accelerate your workflows. Now, feature number two that makes Attio slightly different is that it has zero setup pipeline. For many people starting a new CRM, setup can sometimes be really overwhelming. The AI-first abilities of Attio allows you to plug into apps that matter to your business and reduce the pipeline management. Feature number three is how you connect to other tools. You can connect Attio natively to the tools that you work in. Claude, Notion, or others can be pulled directly into your CRM, perfect for reducing context switching. Today's video is sponsored by Attio. You can check them out in the link in the description and get started straight away. Thanks to those guys for sponsoring, and on with our bigger, broader list. Tool number two is Notion AI. Now, I've talked about Notion for many years, and it's primarily because it's a powerful workspace. Many people use it for personal and work, but it's really becoming the bigger, broader workspace. And the main reason behind that is because your knowledge needs to live somewhere, and it typically gets siloed between lots of different apps. And Notion want to aim to solve that with their AI capabilities and their document management systems within, and how they relate and capture things from other software. So why is this tool particularly useful for small to medium-sized teams? Well, it's better for alignment and duplicated information because Notion is becoming a lot broader, allowing you to connect to a lot more resources to make the ultimate knowledge space for your team. Now, who's going to benefit the most from this? Probably operations, founders, or those who are looking for a clearer source of truth in the business. Cross-functional teams will also like it, as well as managers, but I really think that Notion is becoming more about the context location than anything. And when we talk about AI, context is so important. Tool number three, you'll likely know, is called Claude, but it's being adopted by many enterprises in small to medium-sized businesses as an objective, as a long context AI assistant, and many teams are adopting it really well. It tends to be really good with those operators, founders, researchers, or those strategists that are looking for a thinking partner across their business day. And there's so much benefit to having this type of thinking and this type of companion across your day, especially when it comes to teams not only building things as MVPs, but also bringing out the best in their work. I think I always relate to the context of decision making and creativity, and any of the AI tools that help you to formalize that process, improve your decisions, and improve your creativity will bring out the human elements of the job, which is what will excel in the world of AI. Tool number four is Granola. Now, I love an AI note taker. There are so many on the market, but Granola is the one I use, but there are many different tools like it out there. But largely, Granola is a really effective tool because it will capture your meeting notes in the background without any bots joining the meeting. It also has really gone a lot further with MCP features and other capabilities that are going to help you extend that ability, that are going to help you to grow your meeting notes beyond just what happens in a meeting. It's what happens after as well. There are lots of different alternatives to Granola, which I'll include below, but I almost think at this point, every small to medium-sized business needs an AI note taker, especially if you have more than one meeting a day. Tool number five is Gamma. Now, Gamma is for pitch decks. It's for helping you to share information with others, but in a much faster way, helping you to get all of that information curated and ready to share in a much faster fashion. Now, I have a really weird example here for you that I think could be quite helpful. I was watching Paw Patrol the other day, and one of the main guys who leads the team was essentially able to just bring his team together and start showcasing what the problem was and how to solve it. These dogs would go out and do the job. But what was different was he didn't spend 25 minutes preparing a pitch deck for it. And I think these type of AI tools like Gamma can really help you to bring the speed of putting something together in a faster fashion for strategy in a much easier way. I think the concept of preparing meeting docs and slides will probably be a lost art because the context will help fuel that. Next up is one called Supercut. Now, I truly believe that asynchronous work and having the human face involved is so important to how you work, whether that's working with team members or working with external parties. And apps like this, Supercut, they're very similar to Loom, allow you to quickly record a video, and then what they do is they basically allow you to send it, have that human element, but the AI allows you to edit the ums and ahs that I would do probably all the time in video. I think the key is that if you're looking to be able to show something to a team member that is asynchronous, or you're actually looking to show something with an external client, both of those use cases are fantastic. Showing your face is going to become even more of a predominant part of your job role. Number 7 is Perplexity. Now, Perplexity have really increased what they're doing with Perplexity Computer, which essentially is a new way to interact with your computer. It's very similar to what we see with like OpenClaw, these technologies that allow to use all the context on the computer and then be able to turn it into something that works in the background for you. But I think for teams, Perplexity is quite an interesting one, primarily because they now have a browser, they now have computer, but most importantly, they pull from other context models. So you can choose what model you want to do for a certain task and you can switch between them really easily. I think that's really attractive because the orchestration element of Perplexity is where they excel, and Perplexity Computer is doing some really interesting stuff. And it's well worth business owners or small teams experimenting with these type of technologies. And I think Perplexity Computer is a much more safer approach to that than something like OpenClaw. Tool number 8 is Zapier. Now, many people look at AI automations and find it quite overwhelming, but I feel like Zapier is a good middle ground. It's a good way to get started connecting existing workflows that you do. I think as a small business or a medium-sized business, if you're not connecting automations up, you need to be, because that sort of context plus the bridge between how you're using the tools will only become even more important, that they communicate with each other and also deliver a result at the end of it, especially if we're trying to automate things like administration, operations, processes, or whatever. Zapier are leaning into that by creating front ends as well, which means that you'll be able to create more internal tools and resources like that. There are many different options out there, like Relay is another one that's also doing very well on the market, well worth exploring the options there. Number 9 is Descript. Now, many people in teams, small to medium-sized teams, are particularly trying to make more video content, whether that's to share on social media, interact with clients, or just being able to do more. And Descript is one of those video editing tools that takes the pain of cutting the ums and ahs, as well as maybe even the editing process, out, making the whole video a lot easier to manage. I've been video editing for so many years, and I think one of the things that's changing is that administration of video editing, where we cut out the things that don't work for us anymore, is becoming a lot more popular. So I would highly recommend Descript, mainly because you're going to start needing those elements to share on social media, and this takes maybe 20 to 30% of the work out. Tool number 10 is Superhuman. Now, I love email, and I don't necessarily buy into the whole email management system or emails being organized completely for yourself right now, but I love a good middle ground. I think Superhuman has that right now. It helps you to organize your emails, but allows you to go through your emails in a really effective way. It's super fast and it's super interactive. And they are now part of a broader company, which was previously called Granola, and Superhuman is part of that. I'm talking in isolation about Superhuman Mail, but there is a lot more abilities, which I'll try to explore in another video. But I definitely think if you're emailing more than 2 to 3 hours a day, which is probably quite a lot, then I'd highly recommend checking out Superhuman Mail. Tool number 11 is Linear. Now, many people look to manage all of their issue tracking and their project planning, and Linear is one of those great tools that is being able to help you to do that. And their new sort of AI capabilities are helping you to improve and write issues, plan the actual workload, and keep delivering with heavy processing in between. I feel like who would most benefit from this is small small to medium-sized teams with developers, and especially those who are looking for smoother execution, engineering managers, product managers, and teams will benefit massively from Linear. Now, tool number 12 is Canva. Now, I love Canva. I have been using it for so many years, maybe really early on in 2012 or 2013, but it's really changed in the last couple of years. They've got something called Magic Studio. It's their AI version 2. And the concept is it's you doing the creative elements, but saving time doing that. And I think for teams, being able to have those abilities that don't restrict your creativity because of actual function, I think is going to be so important. Marketing teams, agencies, founders, or whoever you may be, if you need some element of creativity to bring something to life and you need that control element, I think definitely Canva is a good investment. Tool number 13, it's not Notion, it's Motion. And if you are in a team that needs better priority management, then it's well worth looking at this. So many small to medium-sized teams are just completely overwhelmed, and their project management application might just be telling them that they need to do this, but is it necessarily the priority, and is it being organized to your liking? So what Motion does is it takes the context from your calendar, your to-do list, and even some of your meetings, and be able to brew that down so that actually makes actions prioritized across all of your team. Why people like that is because prioritization is going to be even more important with small to medium-sized teams when AI continues to grow. And that's because you want to be able to work out what's important to do, and AI isn't necessarily, you always want to know what's the most important thing to do, and that is part of the human element. But letting an AI system be able to organize your day based on intensity, taxing work, and things like that is going to be super compelling. I think in the future, biology and productivity is going to mix together as we see health being more of an important part to how decision-making and creativity flow. And I think that's going to be a good next step. So my final two is Wispr and ElevenLabs. Now, ElevenLabs is a powerful system to be able to create a voice clone within your team. If you're doing stuff that's external that you constantly need your voice for, then it may be worth using something like that, especially if you're adding something as an API, or you're potentially looking to replicate something on an ongoing basis, whether that's SOPs that you want to bring to life for your staff, using a team member's voice, and you want to change it consistently, that could be something more approachable. The other application that I mentioned, Wispr, is something that I didn't think I'd need, but a couple of years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, I started using these type of apps more aggressively. They're called voice to text AI apps, and essentially they work with your keyboard to allow you to talk into your phone, and then it organizes it, works out what it means, and turns it into clean text, which you can send to somebody. So maybe I'll text my wife, I'll use Wispr, and it'll basically turn it into something much more attractive. It'll turn it into something a lot more organized, and obviously I can get a lot more words per minute done than just texting on the screen. I use it for work quite a lot with emails because I don't want AI to write my emails, but I still want to be able to have my tone and my ability to write emails, but it allows me to get a lot done faster. So those were a lot of AI tools. I feel like we went a bit overboard with how many there were there, but please do check them out in the link in the description below. A big thanks to Attio for sponsoring today's video. If you're interested in getting started with it, you can find it linked below, but most importantly, if you are not a subscriber to Toolfinder, I would personally love to have you. So do hit subscribe today, and I'm sure I'll see you in a future video. I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for stopping by, and cheerio for now. Bye-bye.